This is the bandsaw introduction, and we're going to show you a few major parts for the bandsaw that you should be familiar with. Right here is basically this is the bandsaw. I'm going to open up the cover here, and inside what makes up a bandsaw is this band right here. It's one continuous saw blade, and it goes around these two wheels, the upper wheel and the lower wheel. The lower wheel is attached to a shaft which is attached to the motor. The motor is on the back, and that's what rotates this wheel around, and it just keeps going around and around and around. And when you put the blade on, you want to make sure that the teeth are facing down, that the teeth are facing down towards the table. Right here on this one, this is the on-off switch. This is the tension adjustment knob, which is hooked up to the top wheel. So when you need to take the band saw blade off or put a new one on, you would loosen up this knob, which then lowers and raises this top wheel. And that's how you get your tension on the blade. We'll close that. Before you operate the saw, you want to make sure that the cover is closed. And in this one, it snaps in place. This hose here, this is the dust port. Suck up the sawdust. It won't get 100% of the sawdust, but it does a really adequate job for our situation. This is the table for the bandsaw. You'll place your work on the table. We consider the wood your work. And you place this on here. And we'll get into more of that after a little while. This little red part here is the throat plate. And this is what you use if you're going to change the blade. You want to take this out. That guide the blade. And in the back, right back here, there's a little ball bearing wheel. When pressure gets put up against the blade, see this blade, I can move it in now. When you start putting your work into the blade, it rests up against this bearing, which then will help keep the blade stabilized. There's a knob back here. This knob here lets you adjust the blade guard height. So if you wanted to cut just a small piece of wood, like this, a thin piece, you would want to set your blade guard so the stop block is about 1/8 of an inch above your work. So I have this set, and then I'll take this and I'll lock it in place by tightening this nut. So this is the blade guard. So let's review. We have, this is also a blade guard also, but we call it the cover. This is the cover. Here's your on-off switch. You have your table, your throat plate, your blade guard, your guide blocks, and a guide bearing. And this is your tensioning wheel. And then also in the back here was the raising and lowering wheel for your blade guard. So these are in the dust collector port. So these are some of the parts that you'll need to know for the bandsaw.